Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto, and there's a lot going on, a lot more than I could even cover in my crypto minute. So, a couple of things that are going on. You have Franklin Templeton. Last time I spoke about Franklin Templeton, I believe it was back in April, when they said they were going to be working with Polygon with one of their funds. And that was a really big deal. Still is. What's been going on since then? Well, guess what? They just filed for their spot Bitcoin ETF. That is huge. That's huge. And it's huge because of it adds to the number of firms that are looking for their spot Bitcoin ETFs or Bitcoin spot ETFs. And that is a very, very, very big deal, right? Because you're talking about all the companies involved represent, give or take, $20 trillion in assets under management. That's not a small stick. I'm just saying it's not a small stick. So I really don't think that the SEC has an opportunity to say no. And Gary Gensler was on the Hill yesterday, and he was kind of hinting that, yeah, that's going to happen. I think he kind of realizes that it's not if, it's when, and he's just trying to save face right now. I think that's what it really comes down to. So do I think it'll happen this year? Maybe, could. If it does, huge. If it doesn't, well, it will definitely happen early next year. Now, Binance.us, they might be the biggest in the world, but they're not anything in the United States. And the CEO has just left the building. And they also gave pink slips to about 1/3 of their staff. That is actually a very big deal because, in my opinion, I don't think that they even tried or gave it a decent effort to be successful in the United States. I said over a year ago that their problem was that they were playing way too willy-nilly with regard to regulatory issues within the various countries. And guess what? Everything's come home to roost now. Now they really do have problems. So it could be that Bitcoin, Binance.us goes away. Seriously. So either they're going to find a way to step up or they're going to find a way to step out. So if you've got money on Binance.us, I'm not saying that there's a bank run, because listen, you will have more than enough time to get your money out of there. But if you're like me, it's just one of the exchanges that you're using. Seriously, that's the way I look at it. And the reason why I was using it, because there were only certain coins that I could get there that I couldn't get elsewhere, like VeChain. VeChain I could only get on Binance.us. Now Coinbase is saying they're going to list VeChain after all this time. Like, what? It's just me. It's just me. I know, it's crazy. And now I'm looking at the SEC, and I said before that with all the shenanigans that the SEC is doing, I think they're going to cost the U.S. jobs. And you know what? Ripple is only one company, but it is an example, a clear example of how the regulatory climate in the United States has pushed out jobs. 80% of the new hiring spree that Ripple is going through is happening outside the United States. Now, people might say, well, it has nothing to do with that, has nothing to do with that. Are you kidding me? I think it has a lot to do with that. Maybe the company won't say anything, but I think it has a lot to do with, hey, the regulatory climate here is not making it easier for us to work. So we're looking elsewhere. We're hedging our bets. We're minimizing our risk by, having workforces elsewhere. That says a lot. That says a hell of a lot. So we should be paying attention. But it's also smart for Ripple to do so. And here's why. They are making really huge international moves with cross-border payments. So it only makes sense that they would be hiring, outside the United States. That's a big percentage. That's a really big percentage. So I'm wondering about that. Now, bad news. CoinEx was hit with about a $27 million security breach. Cyber's alerts had noticed it, and they said they had tried to reach out to the company. Kind of seemed like, the company didn't respond. I think it's because CoinEx actually found out about the unusual movements in their wallets because they probably have triggers and alerts, on their systems, you think. And they were breached. The wallets concerning that space, let's see, it was Ethereum, Polygon, Tron, and XRP. Those are the addresses that were affected. Here's what I like about their response. Don't worry about it. Everybody that was affected will be made whole. Done. That's the way you handle that. Yes, we had a security breach. Is it going to affect our users? No, because they're backed. We're going to take care of that. I don't use CoinEx. I will. Just because of that response. That response is just awesome. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire is running around the country, running around the world, just screaming at the top of his lungs, and he's been doing it for a while, talking about there is stablecoin legislation that's going to come, and it's going to boost the market. It's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come. I've been hearing the same thing. If you've been doing your research, you've been seeing little articles pop up about how these conversations about stablecoins are happening more and more, in Washington, D.C. That's huge. It really is huge, because something like that would drive crazy adoption, or help to drive crazy adoption, because you can see how this digital asset equates to $1, which means that I can go to a store, and when I see a price, I don't have to do any crazy math. I don't say it's 0.000000001 for a bag of chips. It costs whatever it costs, and I can see the equation. But that money will happen faster. That exchange will happen faster. If and when that legislation comes, I can tell you now, there's going to be big movement in the credit card market. Mark my words, big movement. Why do you think MasterCard and Visa have been working their tails off to find other revenue streams and find other ways to work with the new world that's coming their way? There's a reason. Excuse me. So when I look at Tether and Bitfinex, this story, I told you on August 31st that a lawsuit had been thrown out, and it was against Uniswap. It was a class action against Uniswap. Guess what? Tether and Bitfinex just got the same kind of news. A lawsuit against them has also been tossed out. Apparently, the plaintiff, the person bringing the lawsuit, the judge said, the claims that you're making have already been thrown out. They've already been rejected previously. It's done. What are you saying? What's your case? You have no case. Bye-bye. That's what happened. And I'm sitting back and I'm all for it. Yes, the stablecoin is taking dips, it's taking hits, all that good stuff. It's rebounded several times. Am I a fan of Tether? Not really, but I use it. I don't use it all that often, but I use it. And it's been working fine. So where was the case? What was the case? That they defrauded investors? Seriously? It's a stablecoin. Like what? Anyway, so that's thrown out. You want to hear something really cool? Because I'm a little bit of a geek. MetaMask has been on a crazy roll, but here's their tech roll right now. They introduced a new feature called Snaps, and Snaps is supposed to allow other networks outside of Ethereum, EVM compatible networks to work with them. So things like Solana, Cosmos, Bitcoin. Developers can now add those features and add those other networks to MetaMask. That's huge, and I think more is going to happen in that space. But I would go through the numbers, but we bounced back yesterday and we're still moving laterally. So I'm not going to bother to bring all that up. Just please do your research. Just do your research. I'm going to keep it short today. Have a great day. If you like what I'm doing, drop me a note. If you don't like what I'm doing, drop me a note. Let me know how I can improve. Love it. All right. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.